Hello everyone, my name is Brendan Marr. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator. And welcome to Famba Friday. On Page Turners They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. Today we are going to continue our habit of speculating about Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Which, to be clear, like the previous films in this new trilogy, is just called Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. They seem to be moving away from using episode numbers in the title. So, what's in a name? To quote Shakespeare, we're going to talk today about the possible meanings of this title and speculate responsibly, I may add, about what we might see in this film. So let's begin. I imagine that the first thing that comes to mind when you hear Skywalker is Luke. So the Rise of Skywalker could be taken as Luke is coming back to life. Now, that would be the question of why would they give that away in the title? I find this highly unlikely. However, I do think that there is a remote possibility that this may play a part in the story. Perhaps our heroes have found a way, or think they have found a way, to resurrect our deceased Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Perhaps they pursue information on how this can be done. Perhaps their journey to the wreckage of the Death Star is to find something Palpatine left behind that may aid them in raising Luke from the dead. Now, like I said, this is a very unlikely scenario, but I'd say it's worth some consideration. Maybe it's like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where they desire to resurrect Luke, just like Indy wanted to find the Holy Grail. But in the end, it ends up being immaterial, and they have to let it go. I like that about Last Crusade, is that the object that they were searching for ended up being irrelevant to what the story was really about, which is reconciliation between father and son. Now, in The Rise of Skywalker, perhaps our heroes seek to resurrect Luke, only to come to the realization that it's immaterial, that that's not what they need, and something else is really the crux of the story. Yet again, highly unlikely, but I thought I'd throw that one out there. The other one that came to a lot of people's mind immediately is the redemption of Ben Solo. Kylo Ren casting off Ben Solo and redeeming himself. Probably sacrificing his own life, I would guess. I think, so a lot of people, that was their first thought, was, oh, he's getting redeemed. Yet again, why reveal that in the trailer? Now you may say, well, isn't he a Solo? Well, yes, but he's also a Skywalker because his mother's a Skywalker. It is possible, I'd say highly possible, that Kylo Ren will be returned to Ben Solo and be redeemed. That is a likely scenario. I would say, or I would wager, perhaps a 50% chance that this is the case. Maybe higher. But I, personally, am inclined to think differently. Now, much has been discussed about whether or not Kylo Ren is worthy of redemption. Well, Vader was redeemed, returned to Anakin Skywalker, saved the galaxy, and was redeemed. Saved his son and was redeemed. And he did a lot of bad things. Now, I don't think Kylo Ren is beyond redemption. And I know a lot of people don't want to see him redeemed because he killed Han Solo and other things like that. And it certainly would be hard to swallow, I'll say that. But I don't think he's beyond redemption, and I don't think it's necessarily fair that Vader can be redeemed, but Ben Solo cannot. I do think that it's a high possibility, probably sacrificing his own life and being redeemed. But I don't think the title obviously means that. So that's one possibility with a lot of that I can accept as a possible meaning of the title that Kylo Ren will be redeemed. Even if that's not the meaning of the title, I still think it's highly likely that Kylo will do something and turn back to the light and save the day or something like that. My only problem with it is it's too similar to what Vader did. However, let me say, anything done right, I'm willing to accept. Or perhaps right is the wrong word. Anything done in a way that works for me, I am willing to accept. If Kylo Ren is to be redeemed, I'm willing to accept it if it's done in a way that works for me. Yet again, I still think it's a little bit too close to what happened to Vader. Another possibility with the title is the one that I accept the most, is, as I've said before, that Rey takes on the mantle of Skywalker, almost being posthumously adopted in a way. Now, a certain individual online who I follow said this is a cop-out. I disagree. I've said it before and I'll say it again. My sister is Chinese. She is my sister. End of story. So, if Rey is, in a way, posthumously adopted by Luke and takes on his name, I'm willing to accept it. Now, whether or not it's a adoption of sorts, or if it's she takes on the mantle of Skywalker to continue the legacy of Skywalker. And thus, she rises, and the legend of Luke rises. That is the meaning of the title that I most gravitate toward. What else could it mean? It could mean that Rey doesn't take on the name of Skywalker, but that the legend of Luke rises to give the galaxy hope. A continuation of the theme toward the end of, at the end of The Last Jedi. Another possibility that someone has thrown out there, our friends at Force Center have mentioned, maybe Leia becomes the leader of the new galactic government And thus it's her rights. That is certainly possible. There are many, many possibilities as to what this title could mean. Now, J.J. Abrams, as we know, likes to be a little bit tricky with this. Tricksy, as Dylan would say. And it is true that sometimes J.J. has a bad habit of giving us lame surprises. Case in point, Star Trek Into Darkness. Even The Force Awakens, now I don't want to say The Force Awakens had lame surprises, but there were a lot of things in it that a good number of fans saw coming. That Kylo Ren was hunted by his son, that Han was going to die, so on and so forth. And so I think what J.J. Abrams needs to do with The Rise of Skywalker is to be a little bit more like The Last Jedi in terms of being surprising. Now, I don't mean that he needs to be as crazy as The Last Jedi was as far as subverting our expectations, but I think that he needs to maybe take a page out of Rian Johnson's book and say, I need to do something that's a little bit harder for people to guess. Because often his projects tend to be easy to figure out what's going to happen. But that being said, I think the title is deliberate in a way that it's meant to make us start thinking. And I'm sure that it'll make sense once we see the movie. Or, and I doubt this, I doubt this very much, it will still be ambiguous after the movie. Because the title, The Last Jedi, is somewhat ambiguous. Even after the movie. Does it mean Jedi plural? Does it mean Jedi singular? Is Rey the last Jedi? Is Luke the last Jedi? Even though he said, I will not be the last Jedi. Maybe that ambiguity will still exist. So let me know what you think. What do you think the title means? You can follow me on YouTube at Tasty Waffle, on Facebook at Brendan Marr, on Twitter at Brendan Blue. That's BRENNENBLUE. And if you like what I've said, please subscribe to this podcast. My name is Brendan Marr. That noise you hear is my ventilator, and thank you so very much for tuning in to Fungo Friday on Page Turners They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. May the Force be with you.